Dear Gemini, stop scrolling right now, because what I'm about to tell you is going to change the way you see the next 24 hours of your life. If you were born under the sign of the twins, the universe has been quietly testing you for weeks. Maybe you didn't even realize it. Maybe it felt like frustration, confusion, or one too many disappointments. But here's the truth. You just passed that test. And because you passed it, something extraordinary is about to walk into your life on July 7th, 2026. Your soulmate, someone whose energy has been circling closer and closer to yours, waiting for this exact moment of alignment. Before we go any further, I need you to do 3 things. Hit that like button right now, because it tells the universe you're ready to receive this message. Subscribe so you never miss the moment your sign is called again. And in the comments below, tell me, I'm a Gemini and I'm ready for my soulmate. Type it now because energy follows intention, and I want to see every single Gemini claiming this moment. Now let's talk about what's really happening for you. Part 1. The final test you didn't know you were taking, Gemini. Let's rewind for a moment, because understanding what just happened to you is the key to understanding what happens next. Over the past several weeks, you've likely felt pulled in 2 directions. That's classic Gemini energy, ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, duality, and quick thinking. But this time, the pulling felt different. It felt heavier. It felt like a real decision point, not just your usual mental back and forth. Maybe you had to choose between staying comfortable or stepping into something unfamiliar. Maybe an old relationship pattern resurfaced, tempting you to fall back into familiar arms that never truly served you. Maybe you questioned your own worth, wondering if you were asking for too much by wanting real, deep, soul-level love instead of surface-level attention. That, Gemini, was the final test. The universe doesn't hand you a soulmate connection without first making sure you're ready to receive it. Think of it like tuning a radio. If your internal frequency is still stuck on old static, old heartbreak, old doubt, old patterns of settling, you won't be able to properly receive the signal when your soulmate's frequency comes through. So the cosmos gave you a test. It gave you a moment where you had to choose growth over comfort, self-respect over settling, truth over illusion. And whether you realized it consciously or not, something in you chose correctly. This is why you're feeling a strange mix of exhaustion and anticipation right now. You're tired because the test took real emotional energy. But underneath that tiredness, there's a hum of excitement you can't quite explain. That hum is your intuition telling you that you cleared the final hurdle. Mercury, your ruling planet, has been moving in a way that sharpened your instincts recently, helping you see through illusions that might have fooled you in the past. You saw clearly, you chose wisely, and now the path ahead is opening. Don't underestimate what you just went through, Gemini. It wasn't small. It was the closing chapter of an old story, the one where you doubted whether real love was coming for you. That chapter is now finished, and the very next page is the one we're about to explore together. Part 2. Why July 7th is the exact moment. There's a reason this message is reaching you specifically on July 7th, 2026, Gemini, and it's not a coincidence. The cosmic timing right now is creating what astrologers call a convergence window, a short but powerful period where the planetary alignments supporting your love life are stacking on top of each other instead of spreading out over months. Venus, the planet of love, attraction, and emotional connection has been moving through a placement that directly activates your relationship sector. This isn't a subtle background influence. This is Venus standing at the door of your love life and knocking loudly, insisting that you pay attention. At the same time, your ruling planet Mercury is in a phase of clarity rather than confusion, which for Gemini is rare and precious. Normally, your mind races through a dozen possibilities before settling on one. Right now, though, your thinking is sharper, more decisive, more aligned with your actual desires rather than your fears. When Venus and Mercury cooperate like this for a Gemini, it creates what feels like a doorway opening. You may have already noticed small synchronicities over the past few days. Repeating numbers, an old song, suddenly playing at the perfect moment, a stranger's comment that felt oddly specific to your situation. These are not random. They are breadcrumbs, gently guiding you toward an encounter that's already been set into motion. Here's what makes today particularly significant. This alignment doesn't last. Cosmic windows like this are temporary by nature, and they ask for presence, not distraction. That's why you're being told, quite literally, don't move. Not physically frozen in place, but energetically still. Resist the urge to chase, to force, to overthink your way into control the way Gemini often does. The person who is arriving is being drawn to you by the very energy you've built through your patience and your recent growth. If you disrupt that stillness by anxiously trying to manufacture the outcome, you risk scattering the very energy that's pulling them towards you. Think of it like this. You've spent weeks planting seeds without even realizing it. Every boundary you held, every moment you chose yourself, every time you refused to settle. July 7th is the day those seeds finally break through the soil. You don't dig up a seed to check if it's growing. You trust the process, you stay rooted, and you let the timing do what timing does best. Part 3. The signs you'll notice today. Gemini, because your ruling planet is Mercury, you experience the world through signals, symbols, and communication more than any other sign in the Zodiac. So it makes perfect sense that the arrival of your soulmate won't announce itself with fireworks. It will whisper to you through small, specific signs, and today, you need to be watching closely. The first sign to watch for is unexpected communication. This could be a message from someone unexpected, a phone call you weren't anticipating, or even a name that suddenly pops into your head after months of silence. Gemini thrives on words and connection, so it makes sense that your soulmate's presence would first be felt through some form of communication rather than a purely physical encounter. Pay attention to any name, message, or conversation that feels oddly persistent today. The second sign involves a sense of déjà vu or familiarity. When you do encounter this person, whether today or in the days immediately following, there will be a strange sense that you already know them. This isn't your imagination. Soulmate connections often carry what feels like recognition rather than introduction, because on a soul level, this is not truly a first meeting. The third sign is physical. Watch for a warmth in your chest, a slight quickening of your pulse, or an inexplicable urge to smile for no clear reason. Your body often knows before your mind catches up. If you suddenly feel lighter, more alive, or strangely hopeful without an obvious cause, trust that feeling completely. The fourth sign is symbolic repetition. Numbers like 1111, 707, or 222 appearing repeatedly are cosmic markers that many people report right before a major soul connection arrives. If you notice repeating numbers today, especially involving the number 7, given today's date, take it as direct confirmation that you are exactly on schedule. Finally, watch for an unusual pull toward a specific location or activity you wouldn't normally choose. Maybe you feel drawn to a coffee shop you've never visited, a particular street, or an event you almost talked yourself out of attending. Gemini, your curiosity is usually intellectual, but today, let it also be intuitive. If something tugs at you without logical explanation, follow it. That pull is not random. It is guidance. Part 4. What don't move really means for you. Let's clear up something important, Gemini, because your mind is probably already spinning with questions about what don't move actually means for someone as naturally restless and curious as you. This isn't a command to sit still and do nothing. It's a deeper instruction about your energy, not your body. Gemini is the sign most prone to overthinking a good thing into oblivion. The moment something promising appears, your mind starts generating alternate scenarios, backup plans, and worst-case outcomes, all in an attempt to protect yourself from disappointment. That mental restlessness is exactly what don't move is warning you against today. It's not asking you to freeze physically. It's asking you to stop the internal scrambling, the second-guessing, the urge to control every variable before it's even necessary. When your soulmate's energy arrives, whether through a message, a conversation, or a face-to-face meeting, your first instinct might be to test it immediately. You might want to ask a dozen questions, analyze every word they say, or mentally fast-forward to worst-case scenarios about whether this could fail, like past relationships. That instinct, while understandable, is the exact energy that could interfere with something still delicate in its early formation. Instead, practice something unusual for your sign. Presence without analysis. Let the moment simply exist before you dissect it. Give yourself permission to feel curious rather than suspicious, intrigued rather than defensive. You've spent so much energy protecting your heart that you may have forgotten how to simply let something good arrive without immediately searching for the catch. Don't move also means resisting the urge to chase. If this person doesn't respond in exactly your preferred timeline. Gemini loves quick, witty exchanges, and when someone takes longer to reply or seems less immediately available, your instinct might be to escalate your effort. Today, and in the days following, practice restraint. Let them come to you at their own pace. This isn't about playing games. It's about honoring a natural rhythm that, if respected, will bring this connection into full bloom exactly as it should. Stillness, for a Gemini, is not natural, but it is exactly what's being asked of you right now, and the reward for practicing it will be far greater than anything you could force into existence through your usual quick-moving instincts. Part 5. How your love life, career, and energy are all shifting together. Here's something most people won't tell you, Gemini. This soulmate arrival isn't happening in isolation. It's part of a much larger shift happening across every area of your life right now. And understanding the bigger picture will help you appreciate just how significant this moment truly is. Notice how other areas of your life have also been rearranging themselves lately. Perhaps a work situation that felt stagnant for months suddenly shows signs of movement. Perhaps a friendship that had grown distant is reconnecting, or an old creative project you'd abandoned is calling you back. This is not a coincidence. When a soulmate-level connection is approaching, the universe often clears space across multiple areas of your life simultaneously, almost like preparing the stage before the main event begins. Your career and purpose are intimately tied to this romantic shift, more than you might expect. Gemini thrives when mentally stimulated, and often the people who arrive as soulmates for your sign are also catalysts for your professional or creative growth. Don't be surprised if this person shares interests, sparks new ideas, or somehow becomes connected to opportunities in your work life as well. Soulmates for Gemini rarely stay in one lane. Their influence tends to ripple outward into every corner of your existence. Your energy levels may also feel different lately, perhaps oscillating between unusual tiredness and sudden bursts of motivation. This is completely normal during a period of major energetic recalibration. Your nervous system is adjusting to a new frequency, the frequency of a life that includes deep partnership rather than solo navigation. Be gentle with yourself during these fluctuations. Rest when you need to, and don't judge yourself for not operating at full capacity every single day this week. Financial synchronicities may also appear. Small, unexpected windfalls or opportunities that seem to arrive out of nowhere. This is often a secondary sign accompanying major love arrivals, as if the universe is demonstrating abundance across every dimension simultaneously to reassure you that you are entering a season of receiving rather than struggling. Pay attention to how connected everything feels right now, Gemini. Nothing is separate. Your heart, your work, your energy, and your finances are all being touched by the same cosmic hand, preparing you for a chapter of life that finally matches the depth you've always known you deserved. Part 6. How to prepare your heart for what's coming. Knowing that your soulmate is arriving is only half the equation, Gemini. The other half is making sure your heart is genuinely open to receive them, rather than guarded from old wounds that haven't fully healed. Let's talk about how to prepare yourself internally so you can meet this moment with the openness it deserves. Start by acknowledging any lingering resentment from past relationships. Gemini often intellectualizes emotional pain, turning heartbreak into a clever story or a joke rather than truly processing it. Today, give yourself permission to feel whatever hasn't been fully felt. You don't need to dwell in it. Just acknowledge it honestly, so it doesn't unconsciously color your reaction to the new person entering your life. Next, release the need to predict the outcome. Your analytical mind wants to know exactly how this will unfold, whether it will last, whether it's the real one. But soulmate connections don't reveal their full shape immediately. They unfold in layers, and trying to see the whole picture on day one will only create anxiety where there should be curiosity. Practice saying to yourself, I don't need to know everything right now. I only need to be present for what's in front of me today. Consider also softening your usual guardedness around vulnerability. Gemini can hide behind humor, wit, and clever deflection when emotions get too real. While your charm is part of what makes you magnetic, this new connection may ask you to occasionally set the jokes aside and speak plainly about what you feel. That kind of honesty might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's exactly the ingredient that will deepen this bond beyond a surface-level spark. Finally, trust your own recent growth. Remember the final test you passed. You chose wisely when it mattered. That version of you, the one who chose growth over comfort, is exactly who this soulmate is arriving for. Not an idealized future version of yourself, but you, right now, with everything you've learned and everything you've overcome. Carry that confidence with you today, Gemini. You've already proven you're ready. Gemini, take a breath and really let this sink in. You didn't stumble into this moment by accident. You worked for it, whether you realized it or not, through every difficult choice, every boundary you held, every moment you refused to settle for less than you deserved. July 7th, 2026 is not just another date on the calendar. It's the day the universe rewards that quiet strength with a connection that finally matches your depth. Stay present today. Watch for those signs we talked about, the unexpected messages, the strange déjà vu, the repeating numbers, the pull towards somewhere unfamiliar. And when you notice them, don't scramble to control what happens next. Let it unfold exactly as it's meant to. Before you go, make sure you've liked this video so the universe knows you're claiming this energy, subscribed so you're here for the next message meant for your sign, and dropped a comment below telling me exactly what sign you're watching this for and what sign you think this soulmate might be. I read every single comment, and I want to celebrate this moment with you. Your story is about to change, Gemini. Stay close, stay open, and I'll see you in the next video.